under my skin, closing up to the edge. No story to spin, set to enter the stage. You think you know, oh, time to roll. You're under my skin.
Atlanta Motor Speedway, located about 20 miles south of downtown Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia, has come a very long way from its first race, held in 1960 and won by NASCAR legend Fireball Roberts, who also took the pole at 133 miles per hour. Spectators from that day who watched from one small grandstand or on blankets spread out on an adjacent dirt bank wouldn't begin to recognize the facility today, even down to its name. Dubbed Atlanta International Raceway when it first opened, the track struggled financially through the 60s and 70s before finding a degree of stability in the 1980s. Real change came following Bruton Smith's purchase of the facility in 1990, with the transformation of Atlanta International Speedway occurring in 1997. With extensive reconfiguration that switched front and back straightaways and added a double dogleg in the new front straightaway. In the 7 intervening years, new grandstands sprouted up almost every year, and a 9-story tower, Terra Place, that houses the track offices and a number of luxury condominiums. Atlanta has been a staple on the NASCAR calendar for decades. And tonight, it's race number 2 of the LSR Truck Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second race of the season, a Lonestar Racing Truck Series. 100 laps the race distance. Looking at an 80-degree ambient temperature, 74% humidity, a little muggy here tonight. Partly cloudy skies, a 9-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temperature, 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with 2 sets of tires over the wall tonight and a 60% fuel load. 1 fast repair if they so need it. And 2 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if it comes down to it. Hopefully we won't need that, but we'll see how things go. Atlanta's a tough place to get around. Hopefully these guys can get it done here tonight. Practice just about wrapped up here from the Speedway. Let's go down trackside, see who's fastest right now. It is Derek Welch. Connor Leach second quick. Josh Sisk in the 6 machine. He's third fast. Got Will George in the chat already. That's a familiar name. Says, let's get the 24 to the front. 24 being Ernest King. King sits in pit lane right now. Good looking paint scheme, though. Jump right into qualifying here in just a moment as practice comes to an end. See who takes to this track first. Only a 5-minute session. Surprised we haven't seen anybody jump out there. There we go. Mike Fahey's going to roll out of pit lane here, it appears. Indeed, it is the case. The number 19 out of pit lane. Connor Leach hits the track. So does Ernest King, Ken Couch. Mike Fahey out of Ilion, New York. I believe makes his residence in the state of Texas these days. Can't say I blame him. First lap for Fahey, 31.678. Sits provisional pole for the time being. Ken Couch rolls second quick, a 31.688. Then Ernest King, his first lap, third fast, 32.095. Ernest out of Conway, South Carolina. Derek Welch in the chat. What's going on, Derek? Derek fastest in the practice session. We'll see what kind of lap time Derek will lay down here in qualifying. Plug check after the start-finish line, 31.934. King sits sixth fast so far of the 7 drivers to lock in the time. Derek Welch on his out lap. Really looking forward to seeing what kind of time Derek can throw down here. Again, he was fast in practice. Connor Leach, top time, 31.369. The number 71 currently sits pole position. First lap for Derek, fifth fast, 31.616. Let's see if he's got a little bit more under the hood. Little loose off 4. I don't think he lifted, though. Oh, not quite enough, though. 31.445, just missed it. That little wiggle off turn 4 might have been the difference, but Welch going to start outside front row, at least for now. Josh Sisk across the line. Josh to start his qualifying attempt. Keep an eye out for him. He should be fast as well. Oh, real loose off turn 4. We just saw that with Derek Welch a moment ago. Same thing with Sisk. That may hurt both of his laps. Cost him some time on exit. Fourth quick first lap, 31.457. But be curious how much time that's going to affect for his second lap. Slowed the momentum of the 6 machine out of 4 just a bit. May not be huge. But now the trick is to get through 4 the next time without getting that thing sideways. (31.437). Sisk times it perfect. Picked up a little bit, but good enough for second quick. As qualifying comes to a close here at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right to our starting grid. On the pole position. Uh-oh, that's different. There we go. With a lap time of 31.369. It's the number 71 out of Canada, Connor Leach. Outside front row, teammate Joshua Sisk missed it by 68 thousandths. Second row is Brian Shepard and Derek Welch. Row number 3, it'll be Sean Roberts and Mike Fahey from Lonestar Racing. Skylar Harrod in the 3, also a Skunkworks Racing driver, will start 7th. Ken Couch rolls from the 8th position in the 08. Michael Ziegler, the number 29, starts in the 9th spot. Matt Sisler, the 93, from M3S Motorsports, will roll from the 10th position. Atlas Smith in the 333. He'll start 11th. Ernest King from RKR Motorsports. The number 24 will roll from the 12th spot. 13th starter Chris Goins from Track Bar Motorsports, making his second start of the season. Again, limited schedule for the 41. Neil Quick will roll in the number 2 from the 14th spot. Kevin Grettenberger, the league admin here, number 57. Didn't think he took a time. He did not, but he'll roll from the 15th spot. Bill Molfeld in the number 911 starts 16th. Randy Coaching in the 77 starts 17th. Last but not least, watch out for Nick again. The number 32 machine gonna be fast. The Lowline Motorsports entry of Nick Biddy starts 18th. Your starting grid here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the LSR Truck Series race number 2, about to get underway. Field sitting on the grid here at start-finish. Waiting for these guys to get rolling. And Sisk, with his win from last week, will drop to the rear of the field. That's going to allow Brian Shepard to move up a spot, I believe. No, Derek Welch. Again, the position that drops to the rear, that lane gets to move up one slot. One position effectively. So even though Brian Shepard technically qualified 3rd fast versus Derek Welch's 4th fast time, the outside line does get to move up. It is the rule, not just here, but in NASCAR proper. I don't know that I necessarily agree with it, but it is what it is. It's certainly a whole lot easier than moving the guy from 3rd to the outside, because he starts on the inside row, so on and so forth. It'd just be a giant mess. Not saying it's impossible, but there you have it. Well, getting ready to go here. Pace truck leading the field through 3 and 4. We'll see the green flag this time by for 100 laps here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Green flag in the air, we're underway. First lap in the books. Connor Leach leads him around. Brian Shepard runs second. Derek Welch, Sean Roberts, Ken Couch, the top 5. Nick Biddy late to the starting line, though, in this race. Looks like he did take the green, but maybe a lap short, 2 laps shy. Biddy's going to need to rely on some cautions here to get caught up. He'll have the pace once he gets there, but he's going to have his fingers crossed for this one. Shepard still leading the pack. Sean Roberts up 2 spots in third. Welch maintaining the 4th position. Ken Couch up 3 in 5th. Trick to this place, again, we only have 2 tire sets over the wall, so that's going to be something you're going to want to pay attention to. This is the old layout of Atlanta Motor Speedway, not the super speedway style that we're seeing lately these days, but this is the wore-out track surface, one that hasn't been repaved since 1997. Very abrasive, going to chew up the tires. It's good to be fast, but it's better to have a tire last the run. Shepard right there, looks like he's getting a little racy. He wants to duck it to the inside, wants to try and lead this race. Shepard takes another look to the inside at Connor Leach. Wants that race lead. Leach taking advantage of the momentum that that outside line provides. Maintains that top spot by doing just that. Carry a little bit more exit speed out of the corner. Shepard's able to get alongside, but can't get that pass completed because he doesn't quite have the exit speed. Skylar Harrod taking a move for position. Underneath the 93 of Matt Sisler and Ken Couch. Might get 2 for 1 here. Chris Goins working his way through the pack. He's up 4 spots in that yellow Popple F-150. Mike Fahey dropping through the pack. That's just a connection issue, though. He's back up into the top 5. Had a strong run a couple of nights ago in the Numb Thumbs Racing League. Mike actually finishing in the top 3. Looks like he's back on a roll here. That was in the Gen 6 Cup car. This here in the truck. Fahey back on the sim. Oh, Neil Quick, contact, I believe. He's up in the fence. I'm going to have to rewind it real quick because it doesn't even indicate that he actually crashed. See if we can get a look at what happened. Neil Quick in the 2 to the outside of Skylar Harrod. Oh, no, Neil's getting loose there. Just gets loose, gets into Harrod a tiny bit. Real lucky for the 3 that he doesn't get right hooked. Again, inadvertent. Neil is going to ride the wall here through the dogleg. Don't think that was a significant impact, but we'll see how it affects the 2 as this race goes on. Neil Quick coming over from the IROC Challenge Series. Meanwhile, back out front, Connor Leach still leads it. Connor leading from pole position. Ryan Shepard just 1 truck length off the tailgate of the 71. Shepard's got the pace through the middle of the corner, closes the gap, but it seems that Leach has a little bit better exit speed. Looking at Nick Biddy here, I don't know how this happened, but it's showing that he is back on the lead lap. Now, I don't know if that was just a timing and scoring issue at the beginning. He showed it as 2 laps down, but now he's shown 18th. About 22 seconds back from the race leader. We'll see if that stays the same or if we've actually got a legitimate timing and scoring problem, but keep a close eye on that. Change for position here. Battle between Chris Goins and Ken Couch. As we have Zach Millett joining us. Better late than never in the broadcast booth. Zach, thanks for jumping in.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I was full sprint in Georgia trying to get up to this booth. It was pretty hot out. It was awful.
Well, either way, glad to have you up here. The battle, first 15 laps in, no cautions to speak of. Drivers, for the most part, minding their P's and Q's. Connor Leach has led every lap to this point. Meanwhile, Nick Biddy now up a few positions, shown in 15th. Randy coaching 1 lap down. I don't know what happened to Randy. Looks like he had an incident on the track just a moment ago. Let's take a look. Oh, how did this not bring out a caution? Let's back this up and get a better look. This will explain why Nick Biddy was able to pick up those extra positions.
Oh, this is a wreck on a wreck, Steve.
Oh, yeah, we got to back it up even further. The 24 Ernest King going through the grass. Well, this went a long way. It looks like this started into the dogleg. Wow, truck got loose in the dogleg by himself. I don't know if somebody took the air off the spoiler, but oh man, the 77 of Randy Coaching comes in. The 333 of Atlas Smith just pile drives the guys. Miracle that that wasn't a caution.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Started off 4 and then it into 1. That's a pretty big crash.
Well, I think the reality is that these guys were kind of near the back of the pack as it was, and they ended up on the apron. So it didn't trigger iRacing's reason to throw the caution. Again, it's all done based on algorithms and things like that. Some tracks are better than others. Meanwhile, out front, Leach starting to stretch his lead out over the 88 of Brian Shepard. Shepard still hanging on to that second spot. Derek Welch, though, starting to reel him in. There's going to be a battle for this spot here in no time at all.
Yeah, this is about the time, Steve, where you're going to start seeing who's been saving their tires these 20 laps or so.
Well, that's kind of what we were thinking early on. We were watching Leach and Shepard run 1-2, a truck length apart for the first, 10, 12 laps without issue. It seemed that Leach had a better exit speed. Shepard was a little bit better on entry. But why don't you explain to everybody what that really does tire-wise? You know, the method and how you get in and out of the corner, how that affects your tire wear.
Well, especially here at Atlanta, old Atlanta just chews tires up big time. And the one thing you want to avoid is to try to slow down on that right front. If you come into the corner, what are they running here? Probably 190 miles an hour, 185 miles an hour, and you try to slow down on that right front, you're just going to kind of cheese grade the rubber right off that thing. So if you can kind of slow down your entry, just roll in as gentle as possible, not put a lot of wheel in it, and then get back to the gas nice and easy, you're just going to keep life in those tires that you really need here, because we're gonna start seeing people as we see the 77 in the wall here.
He's got to pick up the pace. That's going to bring out a yellow if he doesn't get off the wall. Looks like he got through it okay. But yeah, to continue on to what you're saying there, Zach, I mean, that does make sense with Leach carrying an 0.8 of a second advantage now over Brian Shepard. Obviously, they're both on the same lap. Same racetrack, same everything else. Just a matter of how you're getting into the corners, making the big difference in that right front. Shepard was right there with him for the first 12, 15 laps or so, and now you can't really hang on to it. In fact, he's going to lose the second spot to Derek Welch here just now.
Yeah, and I've run with Connor quite a bit, and he's just one of those guys that can keep the pace. You know, it's almost looks like he's burning up some tires, but he's not. You know, he can keep that pace pretty much the whole stint.
And you look at it too, Shepard's got a faster best lap than Leach right now. His best was a 31.71. Leach ran a 31.84, but you see the differential on the racetrack as Shepard and Welch continue to battle for the second spot. This is just going to chew up their tires even more.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. Especially DW down on the bottom there. It's going to start chewing up those tires pretty good. Just trying to stay with the 88 here.
See, that's another thing too I wanted to mention about Leach and Shepard is Leach was running about a lane higher than Shepard was. Both drivers were up topside, but Leach was right up against the wall in the middle of the corners.
Ooh.
Speaking against the wall, Ernest King gets a piece of the safer barrier in the dog leg again. He's got fresher tires after that crash, so I'm sure he wants to get through these guys, but I'm sure Derek Welch and Ryan Shepard are not enjoying him being a part of this mix, considering he's not fighting for a position. These are not race leaders. These are second and third. King getting by both of them doesn't get him his lap back. Now he can probably get through here and go after the race leader, which I'm sure he's going to do, but King's 3 laps down here. He's going to have to find other ways to get these laps back.
Yeah, and with the limited sets of tires, it's not gonna keep this pace for too long.
Well, realistically, he's going to want to try and carry these tires, I don't know, I would say to about lap 50. I'm sorry, lap 75, another 50 laps, because he's already burned one set so early.
Right, that's a long time on a set of tires here.
Neil Quick in pit lane. Neil just finishing up his stop. 4 tires and fuel, 15:32. So
it's good to see old Neil Quick out here. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. It's good to see him on track.
You know, he had a good run on, I think it was Monday night. He ran in the IROC Challenge Series, put it in the top 3, had a solid run, and admittedly hasn't been behind the sim in probably 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You know, he gets back in the rig and he starts running up front right off the bat. And I did watch some of that race, Steve. Boy, that was fun to watch. That was a good Daytona race, and I thought Neil pretty much won that race about 6 different times.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, trouble! Mike Fahey goes around. Where's Drew Blaze to watch it? Hopefully he's watching from the spotter stand. No caution, though. Fahey's going to slide through the infield grass. Regroups it. Let's get another look at it here just a moment ago. Back it up a little further here. Looks like the 33 gets into the wall. In fact, man, he's fighting that car all the way through turn 4. Watch the 33.
I think yawed right out.
Tank slap for tank slap, then hits the dog leg, and might have been actually a little tiny bit of net code between him and Fahey, but I think he would have hit him anyway.
It's good that Fahey kind of saw that coming and didn't really pile drive into the back of him, because he really saved his truck there. I hope he didn't get any damage on that right front there.
There is still a fast repair in this series. And apologies for the replay screen. We're still stuck on the Numb Thumbs Racing Gen 6 series. We'll try to get that square. Meanwhile, we got some leaders on pit lane. Connor Leach, Brian Shepard, Ken Couch. Shepard's got himself. Oh, and he slips through the box. I thought he angled it just perfect to get out of the pits, but has to back it up a little too far. Connor Leach down and away, 12.8 seconds. I don't think the jacks went underneath that truck at all. Fuel only for the 71. Brian Shepard down and away. He did take a set of tires. 16.62 with a slight mistake. Ken Couch, 4 tires as well. So meanwhile, Derek Welch has taken over the race lead. Chris Goins running second.
This is going to pay off nicely for Connor, saving a set of tires towards the end of this race. New set of tires here at Atlanta. It's priceless.
He's going to hate his life during this stint, but
oh, yeah.
That truck will feel like $1 million when he finally gets that last set of 4, or those set of 4 put on. Derek Welch is in, so is Chris Gones. Joshua Sisk, Skylar Herod. And that's going to cycle Kevin Grettenberger to the top spot. Number 57 machine. Good looking truck. I think I said it last week, but it's a great looking truck.
Yeah, that thing pops.
Someone learned how to do spec maps.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Steve. I was going to make a Cody Anderson reference there, and I just couldn't come up with it.
At least it doesn't look like a styrofoam cup. Just like that, Grettenberger is going to hit pit road as well. Last driver to make a pit stop. Kevin Grettenberger gingerly to his pit stall.
Looked like he was pulling up into a drive-through window there, Steve.
Like a large order of fries, a Big Mac.
Got any ice cream in there?
Yeah, ice cream. What's the line? You're welcome to come on and get one, but you're having enough trouble getting around the track as it is. Grettenberger down and away, 4 tires and fuel. Kevin's having a strong run, even after being in the pits. He's still up 5 positions from where he started. Didn't take a lap in qualifying. Matt Sisler is going to take over the top spot.
This is a guy that I expect to see a good run tonight. He's been having strong runs in all the different races and leagues he's been running, but he's just been kind of struck with bad luck lately. I mean, it's always just sporadic times, either right in the beginning of the race or towards the end. I mean, I want to see a good run out of this 93.
He's going to have his hands full, too, because he looks like he went fuel only as well. He's saving a couple of sets of tires for the next 2 pit stops. Interestingly enough, his pit stop at lap 28, if you do the math on this, these guys are still going to need to make a splash and go at the end. .28, 100 laps, that's going to be a tough one.
Boy, if somebody can make it, though, that would be a race-winning move.
That's the thing, though. I mean, with that type of pit strategies, we go 3 wide here with Sisler on the bottom, Sisk in the middle, Connor Leach up top. Sean Roberts in this mix. Now it's 2x2. So let's talk about that a little bit, Zach. As far as pit strategy is concerned, I don't necessarily want you to give away any secrets, but when it comes down to it, if a thing runs green the whole way, now this series, there's not a huge pack of trucks, and we got 18, so we've got enough, but if you had a 40 truck field, you might think a little differently, but with 18 trucks, these drivers have some pretty decent skill out here. There's always that chance we go green to checker without a yellow. So far, the way this race has gone, we've gotten through a set of green flag stops without a caution. If the pit cycles line up so that you're going to have to make that splash and go with 3, 4, 5 laps to go, do you try to burn those tires off before you get to that final stop, knowing that it's just going to be a quick splash?
I mean, you almost have to, Steve, because, I mean, you got to make as much pace as you can. You know you got to come down and basically kill your track position to come down pit road, even for a splash and go. But you got to get all you can get, technically, you know, while you're on track and try to recycle the best you can. But like you said, I mean, you come into races like this, kind of a small field, you kind of have to expect it to go green the majority of the time. LSR, I mean, it usually goes green anyway. I don't know, you kind of have to play that strategy going into it.
You know, it's always nice to have the tires, but if you're only going to be out on fresh rubber for 5, 6 laps at the most, it's not really worth it. I think the track position is key at that point. You're not going to lose as much in that amount of time.
Right, and as Shepard has these new tires underneath that, what is that, a Chevy, he's going to be just absolutely gapping the field here. And, I mean, he should be kind of making pace, but trying to save that set at the same time. It's going to be a pretty big gap here back to second for this stint.
It's interesting, too. If you look at the lap-by-lap comparisons from first to second, Brian Shepard, Sean Roberts, both drivers took 4 tires. Roberts came down only 1 lap earlier than Brian Shepard. and the differential between the two is 1/10 to 2/10. This time it was, well, that's almost 3/10 there. 3/10 plus. Shepard with a 32.55 and Roberts a 32.88. That's just a lap difference in tire wear.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And then you go back to the guys that didn't take tires, and they're a second slower and more per lap.
It's interesting, too. You talk about Shepard being out there in fresh tires. Do you almost baby these tires? I mean, he's got a 5.5 second advantage over Roberts. Do you just kind of back the pace off until Roberts starts to reel it in?
I guess yes and no. I mean, you kind of, instinctively as a race car driver, you want to stay out ahead as much as possible, make as much pace as possible, but you really got to take care of these tires. I mean, everybody else is double stinted this set already, and he's probably going to be looking to do the same to this set, and he's got to make them last.
Now, with all that, too, I mean, if you get out there with that much of a lead, backing out of it to save a little tire, it's also going to help you save a little fuel. If you can do that through a couple of pit stops, maybe you forego that final splash and go. I mean, realistically, on a 60% fuel load, how much fuel do you think you can really save lap-wise?
Yeah, probably not a whole lot. I imagine there's a lot of off-throttle time on the entry of these corners. But another good thing that Shepard has kind of, played into here with taking these tires is he's out all by himself. He's got nice, clear track to work with. He's not kind of in a hornet's nest, per se. So he can just kind of go out here and run, not qualifying laps, but nice, leisurely laps.
It's the other thing, too, he can just kind of pick and choose his line. And he's not worrying about dirty air, making that truck tight. Oh, but he gets the wall all by his lonesome. I don't know what that was about.
It's not good for it. These trucks aren't the strongest. They're not like those next-gen cars. You can just bounce it off the fence every lap and be fine. These things are kind of like a tin can.
Yeah, they're still steel, but they're like a 16th of an inch.
Yeah, not too much. You hit a big enough bug out there, you're going to be a dent in it.
"13 trucks still on the lead lap. Mike Fahey, the last truck on the lead lap. That's in the 13th spot. And Neil Quick runs 12th. Moving our way forward, the 11th place machine, Kevin Grettenberger. Skylar Herod runs 3rd. Matt Sisler runs in the 9th spot. These guys are all pretty well spread out since the pit stops. Until you get up to the 8th place in Connor Leach. He's in a bit of a hornet's nest here. Matt Ziegler in the 29 machine runs 7th in behind Derek Welch. Ken Couch going for a pass here on Joshua Sisk. Back in the 3rd spot, Chris Gones. Another late ad, no practice, didn't qualify.
Turned the VR on, hopped in, and sent it. He's the guy to watch out here, man, with the tire saving. He, time after time, he comes out, and even if I can get ahead of the guy in a race, I know he's coming. 10 laps go by, 10, 20 laps go by, keeps getting bigger and bigger in the mirror. He can save tires better than most.
I think he's saving fuel too. Yep.
Yes, he is. Big picture racing.
Lift and coast, saving fuel, trying to save that right front. All of the above.
So he's hoping that he doesn't have to make that last splash. I'm not sure if he can make it.
Well, I mean, if you have that mindset early on and you're deciding, I know how this will play out if it stays green. And again, Gones is just here chasing trophies. He's not planning on running the full season. He had prior commitments, whether it's other leagues throughout the week. Obviously, you got to balance that with some family time, but he's coming in here to help out these guys. The truck count has been a little bit light, so he likes to race. He knows these guys. He's raced with LSR for a while. But he comes in here, he doesn't really have to worry about points. He's just trying to have a solid run, enjoy himself. So, I mean, that's pressure off type situation. But I think he's planning ahead here and kind of gambling that this will go green all the way to the end. And if it does, and he can save enough fuel, he might be able to pick up a win.
Absolutely. I mean, most of these guys are fast enough, but if they don't have to worry about points and just come out here and trophy hunt, man, that makes them pretty dangerous in a race like this.
as it stands right now, the top 4 trucks all took tires on their pit stops. Most recently was Chris Goins. He has the freshest set out of the top 4. So Ken Couch getting by at this point. I'm thinking Goins is just taking care of his stuff, kind of like we've been talking about, whether it's save the tires or save fuel or a little bit of both.
Another guy to watch here too, Steve, is Josh Sisk. I think he just came down pit road.
Sisk back on pit lane. Interesting here. This seems a little premature, but maybe he knows something that we don't, which is quite possible. He's been real good with strategy lately, not just for him, but he's been kind of crew chiefing the guys over in some other series, and they've been performing quite well as well. So his strategy's been pretty solid.
Oh yeah, these guys had a heck of a run the other night in the Numb Thumbs Gen 6 League. I mean, they had the perfect strategy. A lot of guys had to come down and pit for kind of a splash and go towards the end of that race. These guys had just enough. I mean, I think half a lap to the good. I mean, they did it great. I think they had a 1-2 with Nick Biddy and Skylar Harrod. It was a heck of a run by these guys.
Sean Roberts is going to come down. Skylar Harrod just did the same. It's a fast stop for Sisk, though, 14.65.
Yeah, and they're going to be making hay out here with fresh tires.
Must have brought the Cup crew over to pit the truck.
Yeah, good thinking.
Catching up on the stream chat here, Will George jumped in. We talked about Derek Welch, of course, Chris Goins, Destiny Mills cheering on Fahey. Chris Elliott says, "Who's the co-host?" I think you know who it is. It's Millet, Chris. Come on. Oh, 33 goes around on exit. Sean Roberts puts it in the grass, leaving pit lane with cold tires, not up to pressure.
It's just so easy to do here at Atlanta. Luckily off the racing surface and you stay green here. Hate to see a caution during green flag pit cycles.
Connor Leach just leaving pit lane as well. So is Matt Sisler. Drivers, I think these guys have a plan. Everybody went, I think, as far as they really wanted to the first pit stop, 29, 30, 31, 32 laps in some cases. And they kind of shortened that up a bit. Grettenberger coming down. Now, Kevin took 4 tires on his first stop. Let's see what he does this time. I can't imagine he's going to go all the way to the end on one set, so he might skip it this time. That's the other thing, too, Zach, is if you're trying to eliminate an extra pit stop, if you're Chris Goins, how do you manage the tires in that respect? Because only 2 sets over the wall, you're going to make, 3 pit stops as it is.
Right. I mean, you really got to baby them. I mean, and that's the thing too, is if your last stint isn't quite a full fuel run, say if it's 20 laps compared to 30 laps, you really got to take care of that middle set of tires. I mean, it kind of makes sense to take them the first 2 stints and kind of get the most you can out on track with fresh tires, but I don't know. I mean, I'm anxious to see some of these guys who just took tire to see what kind of pace they put into these things.
Look at the running order right now. It's Shepard, Goins, Couch, Welch, Ziegler, Fahey, Quick. That's your lead lap trucks. Only the top 7. Joshua Sisk, the first truck, 1 lap down in 8th. Then Roberts, then Biddy, the top 10.
The short pitting too, Steve, is these guys who have the fresh tires. I mean, they're over 1.5 seconds faster per lap.
I think it's going to drag a lot of guys down knowing that too. If they're paying attention to those deltas, those guys with fresh tires versus not. If you're planning on taking your tires on this round of stops, I think now's the time. Shepard took tires his last time. This should likely be a splash and go. Yep, stays on the ground. 8.7 seconds. So now he's got to be careful because that slow speed, he's picking up a little bit of tire debris. You want to light him up a little bit just to clean him up. That might have been what happened in the 33. I don't recall if he took tires on that stop or if it was just fuel, but that very well could have been the problem. Him exiting pit lane, hot tires, picking up the marbles, and then trying to go to the gas.
Yeah, it's basically like driving on ice out there with these kind of old, worn-out tires going up through the gears. It's tough.
Following up with Connor Leach, he just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 31.66 after his 4-tire change. Race leader now is Chris Goins. Chris still yet to make a pit stop, but again, he did take his tires on that first stop. So this time will be a short one for fuel only when he finally comes down, but he's been saving, I think, every lap since he left pit lane. Real curious to see how far he can stretch it. His pit stop was lap 31. Likely the full distance on a full load of fuel. We'll see how far he's been managed to save.
Yeah, this is going to tell the tale. See what that final stint is going to look like for some of these guys.
I just don't know if that's enough. He's going to...
It's a lot to save, isn't it, Steve?
I mean, if he made it 31 laps and he has to pit again, say it's 31 laps again, it's lap 62. That means he's going to need to go, what, 38 laps to make it to the finish? So
yeah,
he needs to save 8 laps of fuel. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
No, that's a pretty tall order. It's a pretty big track. You're off throttle on entry, but you're wide open everywhere else.
And it might surprise us. I mean, if you're dedicated to it and you're doing it in every corner from the time you leave pit lane, I suppose it's possible.
Tough too when you're running that middle to high line too, 'cause you're technically going a little further around this place instead of just, say, wrapping the bottom shortest way around down there.
Yeah, but at the same token, you got to kind of weigh that with the fact that you're going to not make that last pit stop, and you're going to be really pushing the limits of the tire wear.
And your pace.
Well, that too, but if you're going to drop it down low, if you're going to run that much further on a set of tires on that final run, you don't want to be running the low side because you're going to burn them up that much faster.
One of the hardest things is to be fast and save. Somebody could master that every time. They're golden.
It's like playing middle infield. Be quick, but don't hurry.
Yeah.
Now Welch is doing it too. You hear both trucks cut the throttle on entry, push the clutch in, let the truck just coast. Well, Ken Couch finishing up a pit stop. Fuel only for the 08. These guys are cutting the throttle so much, it sounds like we're in practice and they're just checking spark plugs.
Yeah, they're all in eco mode.
It's funny, you really don't hear that a whole lot anymore either. Oh, a little wiggle from Goins. He's going to open the door for Welch. Really don't hear guys do the plug check anymore because they're all fuel injected these days. They can just look at the laptop and figure out, are we running rich? Are we running lean? What's the fuel map look like here? Plug check back in the day. You just go wide ass open and then shut the truck off and then coast all the way in, pull the plugs, check them, see how they look, and go from there. But nowadays, really don't need to do that.
I think this is kind of where Chris wants to be, tucked right up behind the one, maybe get a little draft.
Oh, he's already got an extra lap out of this. Let's see. Oh, somebody's spinning.
Uh-oh, that would...
Heard tires somewhere. I don't know what it was, but somebody was definitely sideways. I heard the tires squeal in my ear.
Somebody in the parking lot doing donuts or
Yeah,
something.
right? I don't... Might have been Atlas Smith coming to pit lane. I don't know.
Did see a little puff of smoke towards the entry of pit lane when we were kind of scanning for it. I don't know. He's going to be in the location here. Oh, yeah.
See, I told you, I heard it.
Little drift session here. Ken blocked his way into pit road. Heck of a job. Look at that.
Looks like he's doing it over existing skid marks, too.
Oh, it keeps it off the wall. Heck of a job there.
Good job hanging on to it. Again, my apologies for the replay transition there. I don't know why that one's popping up instead of the Lonestar Racing one. We'll get that square for next week. I think I screwed it up last week, too, so that's definitely on me. Goins is still out there, 65 laps. So we've gone 34. Now he's going to come to pit road right now, though.
Get some load down. Popple Pro machine.
So he saved 3 laps on that fuel run.
It's pretty stout.
He might be able to do this.
And he's going to take tires here, too.
Well, you have to. If you're going to try and make it on this final stop,
Kind of in the catbird seat right here.
So let's just say he can probably go 34 laps. That takes him to lap 100 if we stay green.
I tell you, Steve, the most depressing thing in the world, all this strategy, everybody's doing something different. You know, we're all curious to see what works,
And
what
then the
doesn't
caution
work.
will come out.
And then a caution comes out, and it just kills you. So, yeah, you really hope to see it stay green here.
Well, 66, 67 laps complete now. He's in a good position here, but again, he does need to take care of this thing. Take care of the petrol in the fuel tank of this thing. He can do it. He showed it on that run that if he's disciplined enough to save every lap, he might be able to make it.
It's a hard discipline to do, too. You really got to start at the very beginning. You got to know what you're going to do from start to finish.
Now, with all that said, too, keep in mind is that if nobody else is on his strategy right now, he could be out in front of these guys. He could put a whole lap on them. Because everybody makes that final pit stop. Like you said, the track position loss, the time loss, just coming down pit road, even to take 6 seconds of fuel, if it is even that much, it's significant. You're almost guaranteed to lose a lap. So the waning laps of this race, if Gones is close, say he's a lap short, he can back his pace down by 25, 30, 40% for a few laps and make it.
Yeah, and looking at the timing and scoring, he's about 20 seconds off the lead car right now of Josh Sisk. So I think Chris was backing up his speed every lap to save that gas, but he really didn't lose a whole lot. I mean, like you said, it takes a long time for somebody to come down pit road. Even for a slash and go, it's going to be a ton of time.
Now we know Sisk is going to have to make another stop as well. At which point, I imagine he's going to take tires. I don't recall if he took 4 on that first pit stop or not.
What's interesting here too, Steve, is I'm watching some lap times here, and some of these guys that have these fresh tires that just pit.
Sisk
Sisk gets in the wall on entry there. But a lot of these guys, they're not out here running as fast as they can. I mean, they're not even close. I think a lot of people are playing this fuel game right now. I mean, a lot of trucks right now are backed up into the 33-second range, even with 4 fresh tires. Pretty solid day for Skunkworks Racing, though. We got trucks 1st, 2nd, and 5th place right now. Good showing for these guys.
It's not really surprising. You know, there's talented guys over there, plus you add in the strategy. Works out well for these guys. Mike Fahey in pit lane. Man, it really looked like he was a little bit too deep in the pit box there, but must not have been. Truck went up on jacks, 4 tires and fuel for the 19.
Yeah, it looks like the front of that truck right on that line. You got lucky there.
'29 of Ziegler on pit lane. This is another paint scheme that I really like. You talk about spec mapping. They got that nice glossy black, but it appears that the logos on this truck are actually painted on, and they're chrome. Backdoor racing machine.
Yeah, that's well done. Logos all still pop. That's it's a nice looking rig right there. Backdoor racing.
Simple but sleek.
Yes.
Vincent Short
Simple,
in the stream
better.
chat. Howdy, fellas.
What's up, Vince?
So Sisk still out in front. Again, will need to make a pit stop. I would imagine around lap 80 or so, we should see the 6 come down to hit pit lane for his final stop. Again, I don't know if he's got tires left. It's the only drawback here is, it's one thing I wish iRacing would add is, at least for the broadcast side of things, be able to tell guys how many sets of tires remain for each driver.
Yeah, that would be a world of difference.
You know what else iRacing should do is add the ability to use scuffs.
And since we're on the topic, I'd like to see some pit crews running around these vehicles too.
Well, yeah, but I think we got to worry about the 5th generation graphics cards before we think about that. That's a lot of movement.
It is, yeah. Worth every penny.
Yeah. So Sisk, there's the left side tires going on. So 4 tires and fuel for the number 6 machine. He's down and away, and he's going to be hammered down the rest of the way. Pit a little bit sooner than we thought, but I think he was waiting until he knew he was good to go, and I think he added a little bit of insurance for a potential green-white checkered finish if needed. Connor Leach is in. His last stop of the day. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler has taken over the race lead. And for a very short amount of time, because here he comes down pit road. Another cycle of green flag stops. Real impressed with these guys tonight. It's a tough track to get around. We've seen some guys have some issues. Still no cautions, knock on wood.
Yeah, you really got to appreciate a league like this. They can come out and run. I don't want to jinx it, but so far, a lot of laps.
I'm knocking on the tray table here just to be safe.
Right, yeah, me too.
So Derek Welch now your race leader in the number 1 machine. 24 laps to go. Welch made his stop at lap 64, so he may actually be good to go. No, maybe not. Unless he's saving like Chris Goins. But he's going to have to save an extra lap by comparison. So it looks like Goins and Welch are on the same strategy here. Try to see if anybody else... Bill Molfeld came down at 66, but he's not on the lead lap. It's 2 down. So Sisk is going to have the pace with about 10 lap fresher tires and not having to save fuel.
Yeah, and lap times that he's going to be able to run is just, it's going to be significantly different.
Yeah, and he's 16 and a half seconds back right now. His last lap was a 31.56, almost 2 seconds faster than the race leader right now. Now that'll equalize a little bit as the laps wind down, but he's going to gain a lot of time very quickly here early.
And then we saw these first 2 trucks, Derek Welch and Chris Goins. They came out on track with the fresh tires, and they were still in the 33-second range. So, like you said, if it equalizes, these guys might have some life in these tires still. Maybe you can, have just enough time to stay out ahead here. But I don't know. Sisk is moving right now.
Well, that's just the other thing too. Is I think that fuel save is what's helping them take care of the tires all at the same time. You're running a couple of seconds a lap off what you normally would, like you said, on fresh tires to save fuel. But in turn, you're putting that much less stress, especially on that right front. Remember, Joshua Sisk won the race last week to start the season. He's put himself in position to pick up another one here tonight. 20 laps to go. Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's nice having you in the booth here, Zach. We didn't even go to commercial.
Yeah, we don't even need it.
I think we're going to stick to this. Just kind of hang here and watch this one develop. Right now, we've only got 5 trucks on the lead lap, which is kind of what we anticipated was going to happen with some drivers having to make an additional stop. I just didn't think we'd see it at this point in the race. I thought we'd see it a little bit later on, nearer the end. You see how slow Chris Goins is driving this truck right now, trying to get all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's just, it looks like the pace difference is just, it's just too big at this point.
$18 laps to go. Sisk is within just under 11 seconds of the race lead right now, which puts him about 6.5 seconds off the back bumper of Chris Goins. Connor Leach, the pole sitter, running back and forth. Matt Sisler running fifth. Those are your lead lap trucks. Everybody else a lap down or more. A few drivers out of the race. Neil Quick, surprisingly, out. He'll finish in, looks like 16th. Ernest King out of the race in 17th. And Randy Coaching also out. Finish out in the 18th spot. Right on board here with Derek again, see how aggressive his fuel save is.
Only turning 7,000 RPMs into one. I'd say that's pretty aggressive, Steve.
Down the backstretch, 68, 69. 7,000 into 3 as well.
He's got to be short at this point, Steve. That is big time fuel saving.
I mean, or is he in a position where you save it now so that if you need to fight somebody off later, you can?
It could be the case, but boy, it's just a little bit more than a second difference from these guys who are coming up real fast. We're going to be seeing them get in the picture here pretty quick.
I remember a NASCAR race years ago. It might have been Carl Edwards, and I think it very well could have been here in Atlanta. It was either Atlanta or Charlotte, but man, he was saving fuel so bad. He was like half, almost below minimum speed every lap, just trying to save fuel. He ended up winning the race, but barely. It's kind of the same situation where he had a lap on the field, but it went away in a hurry in the last couple of laps. Goins now just about 1 corner's distance ahead of third place Joshua Sisk. Goins running about a half a second faster than Welch the last time, but Sisk running about a half a second faster than Goins the last time. So if we talked about those tires starting to equalize a little bit, that could be the case. We're starting to see that. Josh still much faster than the top two.
Yeah, we're getting to the point of where if these front two trucks have any life left in these tires, we're probably going to have to start flexing them.
$12 laps to go. 3.6 seconds for Sisk to try and make up.
See, Connor Leach actually has been out there making some hay. He's right behind Sisk now. He's been making some pretty good pace to get back up behind him.
It's about 0.2 faster than Sisk that last time. I think Welch and Goins would love to see that. The 71 and the 6 battling it out. Get them side by side. It would slow both of them down. It would give Welch and Goins a little bit more of a fighting chance to win out over those two.
I think we're going to see this Sisk machine right up behind Goins, maybe this lap or maybe the beginning of next lap. You can see him in the distance.
Now, Sisk was just about a second quicker than Goins the last lap. And I think the reason being behind that is he's starting to see Leach reel him in. So I think Sisk realizes, yep, all right, it's time to go. Because he doesn't want to be side by side with Leach either. There you go. Zach, you called it. Right there to the back bumper of Chris Goins off turn 4. Takes a peek to the inside through the dog leg. He's going to have the spot into one, and Goins gets the wall. Goins loses 2 spots in that exchange.
Like Goins was kind of worried about just getting out of the way there, and pretty easy to get the wall here.
Well, that's another thing that's nice about Chris Goins is he knows he's in here just trophy hunting, and some of these guys are absolutely here for the season. He doesn't want to screw up their night by any means. You know, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it. He's smart enough to realize when that's the case. 9 laps to go. Welch still out in front. 2.9 seconds the advantage over the 6. It's like Welch is driving a hybrid.
Yeah, he's getting every little bit of mileage out of that Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, you drive a hybrid in the Cup Series, don't you?
I do, yeah. I slapped the badge on there, so it's
An extra 100 horse.
need every bit in that league, every single bit I can get.
Leach has gotten by Joshua Sisk, or at least partially, not completed just yet, but they battle drag racing down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Sisk with the advantage to the outside. Gets back in front of the 71.
DW is loving this.
You know, if I'm DW right now, I'm just not even going to look at the rearview mirror. I'm just going to sit here, keep running my line, run my laps, take care of my fuel as much as I can, and hope these guys don't reel me in. If they do, they do. Just got to keep doing what you're doing and race the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, these guys catch you and pass you. I mean, if DW is on track to make it to the end of this race, I mean, a podium isn't a a bad day by any means.
Six to go. 1.2 plus the advantage for Welch. Sisk was almost a full second quicker than the leader the last time by. Yeah, he's catching him quick.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much of a fight here. DW dipped into the 34s that last time by. He might be getting pretty close here.
I think another lap, Sisk is going to be there.
I think by off turn 2, he's going to be there. Heck of a run off 2 here.
Sisk looking to the outside, off turn number 4, side by side, coming to the line. It'll be 4 laps to go. Sisk will lead this lap and clear the one of Derek Welch, as Welch is kind of struggling here to maintain pace while simultaneously taking care of the fuel in the truck, making sure it goes all the way to the end. Now, honestly, if I'm Welch right now, let these two guys go and just run the bottom and back off my pace. Shorten the lap the best that you can. As long as you keep the 41 behind you, you should be in good shape for top 3.
Yeah, and he's got 4 seconds back to the 41 of Chris Goins. So, I mean, he's got a ton of time he can kind of give up here. He could really shut that truck off every entry for the rest of this race and kind of conserve.
And Goins is only running about a tenth faster right now, so he doesn't have the time to reel him in at that pace unless something catastrophic happens with the 1.
You can see the distance back to Goins there, that second yellow truck. That's a pretty big distance to achieve here, and what do we got, 3 laps here?
Still no caution, though. Nah, Welch isn't going to make it.
Not going to make it. Oh, man.
Into pit road. Goins will take over the 3rd spot.
Jesus, Goins is only, if we're thinking maybe a lap better than DW, it's going to be pretty darn tight for Goins here still.
Well, it just goes to how disciplined were these drivers in trying to save fuel. I know for certain that Goins was saving as soon as he got to turn 3 after his pit stop. And splash and go for Welch.
Goins is running the bottom here.
Back up front. Final lap, white flag in the air for Joshua Sisk. Will Connor Leach put the pressure on?
Ooh, he had it yawed right out into turn 1 there.
He still does, and he's in the wall off turn 2.
Well, he sent it, though.
Goins on the last lap. We'll see if it makes it back to the line. Josh Sisk is going to run away with it, though. Leach not close enough to make a move. Coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag waving, and Josh Sisk makes it 2 in a row. Sisk picks up the win. Connor Leach runs 2nd, and Chris Goins comes home with another top 3. Stretching that fuel. Skunk Works teammates celebrating here on the front stretch.
Yeah, pretty darn good showing by these guys. We got a first place, second place, and fifth place for the Skunk Work guys tonight. Good showing.
Well, with that, we'll step aside here, get our only break out of the way. Be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Signal I need to cut across 8 lane. None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have Joshua Sisk in victory lane once again, 2 weeks in a row for the driver of the number 6. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our race winner. Josh, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations once again, 2 in a row. Charlotte last week, Old Atlanta tonight. That was a fun one to watch. A little bit of fuel strategy at the end, as well as, well, it's Atlanta. We're saving some tires as well. Walk us through your strategy coming into tonight. I know you guys have been talking strategy all week long in various leagues, including this one. What was the game plan coming into tonight?
I honestly was going to two-stop it, and I was riding in traffic there, and I was clutching in the middle of the straightaway, just keeping up with traffic, and that obviously was helping me save tire. And when I picked the throttle up a little bit to pass a couple guys, I thought I had so much tire that I needed to run those at least another 20 laps, and then it'd give me a little time to sprint. And so the third stint there from 50 to 74 or 75, I tried to run 32 flats for as long as I could and not run anything in the 31s, and then get a look at tire wear for the last 26 laps or so, and knew that I had so much right front that I could really cook it a few laps and still have tire at the end to be able to get up and run the wall. And I was kind of smart. I think on the first stop I only took 6.8 gallons, kept the pit stop short, cycled me in front, And, having starting in the back, that was kind of important, so I could save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of tire, shorten the pit stops up, and then carry some speed to the end, and allowed me to test the track, figure out where the tires were, then get up in the wall and run some speed there the last 5 or 10 laps.
Well, certainly an impressive run. We know Chris Goins was trying to make it a two-stopper. He succeeded in doing so, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to get him to the finish line first. You had the tire advantage, certainly the pace there at the end, but could have gone either way. I actually would have hoped to see you run a two-stopper to see how close that really would have been between you and Chris, but it didn't work for Derek Welch. He tried the same thing. Unfortunately, though, he pit 1 lap sooner than Goins and ran out coming to the white.
Yeah, that's a tough break. I mean, that's what makes these fun, is when it goes green, you can have a little strategy, play around with it a little bit, and people do different things, and that makes it fun.
Certainly been fun to watch as of late. Next week, though, we roll into Iowa Speedway, a bit of a shorter racetrack comparative to where we've been. A little more in your wheelhouse, which is scary for the rest of the competition since you've started this season off with a couple of wins. How do you feel about making it 3 in a row next week at Iowa?
Man, I absolutely love that racetrack. You can go lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, and if you know what you're doing in those 3 lanes, you can make the same pace and save the same amount of tire at all 3 lanes. So that place is absolutely a driver's racetrack, because you can just go wherever you need to go.
You know what?
I'm super excited.
A lot of people say it's like a little bit bigger Richmond, but to me, it's almost like a small California Speedway if you think about it.
I would go with that. Other than, California, you don't really get free up on corner exit generally. The car normally stays pretty glued, but man, coming out of 2 at Iowa, you can really you can cause yourself some trouble if you're getting a little aggressive.
Well, you're also not running 190 miles an hour at Iowa.
That's true.
Well, Josh, congratulations, man. An awesome win here tonight. We certainly wish you the best of luck next week, but who do you want to shout out to?
Man, I want to give a shout out to myself and Sis Speed Shop. We have had an insane run, winning on Friday, 2 races on Saturday, Sunday night. I choked it away on Monday and got caught up in some garbage. That happens, but 1-2 Tuesday, took Wednesday off to come out here and get a 1-2. We had some connection issues with Nick there to start the race. Skylar had a good run, just a little pit road issue, but the Sis Speed Shop is really working. We're improving some finishes. Skunkworks Graphics, as always, man, love that guy to death. Connor, Skylar, Nick Biddy, and hopefully we can keep this run going.
Wish you the best of luck, Josh. Again, congratulations, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you, sir.
It's Josh Sisk, your race winner here at Atlanta. We'll talk to our runner-up teammate, Connor Leach, driver of the number 71 machine. Put it on the pole position here tonight. Came up 1 short at the finish of this one, but still a solid points day, certainly for Connor Leach. It's Steve, and Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, we got you.
Zach, congratulations. Zach's in the booth. Let's try again. Connor, congratulations on his second-place run here at Atlanta. Blistering lap in qualifying. Put it on pole position by a pretty good margin, but had some pace early on. Teammate Josh Sisk, though, starting at the rear, having to work his way through. You guys ended up on a relatively similar strategy. What was the difference maker here tonight between yourself and Sisk?
Well, that first pit stop, I made a mistake. I was clicking buttons before the fuel was actually done. So when he said go, 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 he said, oh, never mind. We're going to put a little bit more fuel in. So they kind of brought the can back out, plugged it back into the truck. But yeah, I should have probably put less fuel in on that first stop like Caleb did. But I wasn't sure if I, maybe go a little long, caution comes out or something. But yeah, no, we were up front by quite a ways. And I was like, knew my stop was super slow even with that, and then Caleb came out in front of me. I'm like, uh-oh, this is gonna be a tough one, and we were kind of just holding pace with him. I kept pitting a lap or 2 later than him on the other pit stops, and kind of catch back up, but I definitely burned my stuff up a little bit more catching up to him on that last run, and then just kind of hung around. And once he started running the top line, I was liking that top line, especially in 1 and 2. There's a little jump you can kind of take going in there, and it sets the car in and kind of get a good rotation through the whole top. But I was having fun just running this track. It's pretty fun in these trucks.
Well, it's certainly fun to watch for us up here in the booth. I hope it was also for those out watching the broadcast. But following up there, the latter stages of the race, you and Sisk can get clear. You take over the first and second spot, but coming down to the last couple of laps, you seemed like you had some pace. You had a run and then ultimately you got a piece of the wall there at the end. Walk us through what happened there, and was that really all she wrote? Did you have anything for Josh at the end if that hadn't happened?
I don't know, maybe he was getting a little loose, like we're both talking to each other, like, oh, we're loose. I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you, loose, and kind of tagged the right rear on the wall, and it grabbed the front end of the truck. But that was kind of sort of a Hail Mary, not quite an Austin Dillon, but just kind of threw it in there, hoping maybe we'd catch up to him, get right on his bumper, and get a better run out, but it wasn't made to be.
Well, either way, you guys made it look good. It's certainly fun to watch. Looking forward to next week at Iowa. Again, Connor, congratulations on the runner-up here tonight. Who do you want to thank?
Shout out, Caleb and Sisk Speed Shop. He helped me out the other night there, winning that Gen 6 race within TRL. And then these Lonestar guys, this is the first league that I've joined with them. I think they were doing the road to the 500 a while ago, ran some of those races. But it should be a fun little league here. Looking to, hopefully be up in this kind of area, maybe podium a few more times. And shout out to Skunkworks Graphics for putting the wrap on the car, and Skylar and Nick Biddy were hanging out with us racing, so it was a fun one. Hopefully we keep it going.
Looking forward to more. Connor, again, congratulations, and good luck next week at Iowa.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. We'll talk to you again soon.
Connor Leach, your runner-up here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Last but not least, we're going to pull the third place finisher, the driver of the 41, Chris Goins, into the broadcast booth. And once again, for a guy that showed up, didn't get practice, I don't think he even took a lap in qualifying, it was in position to win this thing, comes home with a third place finish. Chris, it's Steve and Zach in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Chris, congratulations, man. A strong run. You were working that two-stop strategy. We were watching it develop. We were awfully concerned when we saw Welch pull down for fuel just with a lap or two to go. How close was it for you?
I ran out going into one on the cooldown lap, so it was close, to say the least. But when I saw Derek pit with 2 laps to go, and I looked down and I was like 1.9 at the line, and I was like, I hope this thing lasts. And luckily we were just able to kind of stretch it a little bit further.
We did notice that after both pit stops that you were immediately in fuel safe mode right into the next corner every single lap. It takes a lot of discipline to remember to do that, because it's so counterintuitive to actually driving the race truck and racing it around rather than just get off the throttle and let that thing coast. But it paid off. You skipped an extra pit stop. Solid top 3 finish after starting about 13th tonight. This season's starting off pretty well for you. I know you came in here as a part-time driver, but here you are 2 weeks in a row with top 3 finishes. We've got Iowa next week, and then one of your favorites, Watkins Glen, the week after that. Are we giving second thoughts to maybe running this full season?
I'm still not committing to the full season. I'll run if needed and family obligations aren't there. So I definitely enjoy running with these guys and running this league. I definitely enjoy the schedule that's out there. It looks good. But I still can't commit fully, but we'll see what happens. And, if I run more often than not, then so be it, right?
Well, we hope you do. You've been running really well here. Obviously, points are being accumulated for you nonetheless, so we'll see how things play out. I want to say congratulations again. A strong run here in third place. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
I want to thank these guys over here with LSR that are putting the league on. I know Sean and Kevin and anybody else involved that I may not know about, but I appreciate all these guys doing it. I mean, it is still fun to come out here and run, even though I can't commit to the full season as of right now, but definitely enjoyable to come out here with these guys. Thank you guys over here at HBR TV. Obviously, I know you're here every week, Steve, so we appreciate that. And Zach, when he jumps in here. So it's always fun to go back and hear you guys go back and forth and stuff. So that's always fun. Definitely want to thank Popple, Track Bar Media, Castle Products. Shout out Zach, that S4 guy. I know he wasn't streaming obviously tonight because he's not racing, but catch him when he's on the track. So let's see, Eric Dotson, State Farm, all my teammates over at Track Bar Motorsports. I don't have any necessarily in this race, I don't think, but always fun to get out there and shout those guys out, and girl, obviously. So, but yep, other than that, I mean, let's just, if we're here next week, let's see if we can talk again next week.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Again, congratulations on a great run here at Atlanta, and we'll see you when we see you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys.
Chris Goins, your third place finisher here at Atlanta. Man, I'd love to see him run the full season because the way this one's starting off, he's going to be a contender, Zach. I mean, you're going to talk to this guy and try and convince him otherwise. Again, I know family comes first, but I don't know.
Yeah, man, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to see if I can talk him into doing it. If, we need him up there battling some of these guys. We got a lot of fast guys in this league, and, he's always, somebody to be a contender towards the end. He's always got the strategy. He's always got the pace. So it'd be fun to watch him race against these skunkwork guys, and I think it'd be a really fun season to watch.
With that, we'll take a look at our official race results. Of course, Joshua Sisk takes the race win. Connor Leach from pole finishes second. Chris Goins, again, last minute coming through, finishing in third. Matt Sisler fourth. Skylar Herod was fifth. Sean Roberts closes it out in P6. Kevin Grettenberger was seventh. Mike Fahey finishes in the 8th spot. Ken Couch was 9th. Derek Welch, after running out of fuel with 2 to go, finishes 10th. 1 lap down. Tough break for Derek. Nick Biddy, who started this race, I believe, from pit lane, got in here at the very last minute. He finishes 11th. Brian Shepard, who was strong early on, he finishes 12th, 1 lap down. Mike Ziegler was 13th. Bill Molfeld, 14th. Atlas Smith with a crafty save getting into pit lane late in this race. He finishes in the 15th spot. Neil Quick out of this one early, finishes 16th. Ernest King was 17th. Randy Coaching, last and not least, in the 18th spot, 84 laps down. If you guys haven't already done so, check us out on youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. Like the broadcast, the stream, the video, however you want to classify it, and help us out there. Share it, subscribe, click the bell button so you get those notifications when we post a video or we go live, that sort of thing. It helps us across the board. You potential or current broadcasters out there, if you're looking for a custom camera pack for your broadcast, see the logo at the bottom left of the screen there? Whiplash Sim Cams. Check them out on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find them. Get in touch with Andrew, and he'll get you squared away. It's a time saver for sure to buy the cameras. Yes, you can make your own, but Andrew's got some real-world experience at track in setting up and operating cameras at racetracks. He really knows what he's doing, so check those guys out. He offers things at an affordable price. Definitely worth your money for sure. With all that said, again, congratulations again to Josh Sisk, Connor Leach, Chris Goins, your top 3 finishers here tonight. And Zach, thank you once again for joining me here in the booth. Certainly appreciate your presence and your help every single opportunity we have.
Heck yeah, man. Good to be here. I'm probably going to miss next week. I'll be on vacation, unfortunately. But, man, I hope I can make the rest of the season. I'd like to jump up here and watch these guys race it out the rest of the season. August
29th, again, the 23rd next week is Iowa Speedway. Then the 29th of August, we go to Watkins Glen International. September the 5th, we go to Richmond. And then we do take the week off, the week of the 11th, as a lot of us are actually going to be in the Glen. Myself and Zach included will be in the Glen for the Cup race, as well as I'm sure some others that are somewhat near to the area. So we're just going to take that off and not have to worry about it. More races to follow after that. We come back here on the 19th for Pocono, then Darlington, Michigan, Bristol, Homestead, Gateway, Talladega, Dover, Indy, Vegas, and close the season mid-December in Phoenix Raceway. So solid season to come. Again, only 18 trucks in this field. There's room for more, folks. Very clean racing, as you saw. Again, tonight, not a single caution to speak of. A couple issues out there, but nothing huge. So if you know someone that might be interested in joining an iRacing league, even if you're relatively new, come out here. Come race with these guys. That's how you get better. You race against guys that are faster. That's the only way you're going to improve. That's just the way that it goes. So check these guys out. Contact Kevin Grettenberger or Sean Roberts. Either one of those guys can get you hooked up in the league. It's certainly a good time, and broadcast it every week here at HBR TV. That's going to wrap it up for us again. For Zach Millett, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you again next week.